This is making so much noise, but I need to keep my fan on. So, didn't think I would be uploading this instead of uploading the videos I have to upload first, but I just need to update you on what has happened today. So today it is Friday, the 13th. And 13 is my lucky number. I am wearing this because, well, we are in quarantine because exactly in the area of Italy where I am, there is a major outbreak of the coronavirus. Yes! And so far, nobody in my little town has died of it yet, or has caught it, but it's a town of mostly like sick old people and young people. So, plus, well, let's be honest, eating disorders do not go well with viruses because even if you're not restricting as much as you were in the past, or even if you're not purging as much as you were in the past, your immune system is still somewhat fucked up from your eating disorder. Maybe you're feeling better physically, like I am. I think I'm 100% physically recovered, but I still probably have some issue from when the restriction was worse. And plus, well, this video is just a whole big trigger warning for so many topics, like mental illness, eating disorders, natural calamities, just anything. Imagine hell. So, when I'm not really restricting as much, I just self-harm a lot in the form of cutting. And so this afternoon, yeah, I did cut, like a lot actually. A lot, but I guess I lost like the equivalent of 3 to 5 liter syringes of blood, you know, when you do have a blood test, so it's not really that much. But that surely debilitates the immune system somewhat. Before that, we had been in quarantine, literally like locked up into our houses, wearing masks, not being allowed to go outside unless it's a very extreme emergency and only one member of the family can go. And this is day 3 of us being in quarantine, and it's making me go insane, mostly because in the past 4 months I have been using walking outside, especially at night, as a coping mechanism. Like, instead of restricting them as much, and especially not really restricting, but instead of spending the night self-harming and cutting myself open everywhere, I would spend the night walking and trying to burn calories and stuff, and thinking, and just... So that was already making me go insane. After cutting, I did go outside to walk the dog, which I never do. I have never ever done that in my entire life. I've had this dog for like 9 years almost. But I did go, and I ended up going to the woods, like very deep in the woods. Luckily there was nobody, but like if somebody sees you outside and you do not have like an actual certification that you sign yourself and share, like they can sue you and you can actually be in trouble with the law. You can even be recluded if it's something you do like twice or 3 times. So anyway, this day, I mean, I'm not superstitious and I really like number 13. And when it's Friday the 13th, I remember every time I was in class in high school and it was Friday the 13th, I was like, hee hee, it's my day. Like, I like Friday the 13th. It's like my day. I don't know why it is called, what I want to express, but yeah. My boiler, I have a wooden boiler in my No, it's not canteen. Canteen, it's where you have lunch, Luna. In my basement, I have a boiler, a huge boiler. There's like a wood boiler. You have to put in wood to make it work. And 1 hour ago, maybe 1 hour and a half ago, I was in my bedroom. My mom came in. Actually, my brother came in and asked me, "Did you go to the bathroom?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." He got out. Clearly, he was looking for the person responsible for very foul smells in the bathroom. Wasn't me. My mom comes into my bedroom like less than 10 minutes later, and she's like, "The boiler is on fire. Get out of your bedroom because this entire side of the house smells like carbon monoxide or bioxide. Well, this entire part of the house smells like carbon dioxide." And like, I am already in quarantine. It means I have to share this entire fucking house with 6 people, 4 pets, and even in my room I have no quiet because all the time, like, there is people making noise and being so annoying and stressful all the time. So I had to go to the other side of the house, the small side of the house where there's like the living room and the kitchen, and in between there is like a little hallway. So I stood there near my oven. I have a wooden oven. That is not the one that they go on fire. It's another one that we use for cooking and for keeping the house warm, like to keep the living zone warm. I was there, sat on a little table near there, so that I wouldn't get too cold, because we opened every single window, and also the windows like in the living room and kitchen to try not to get like carbon dioxide poisoning, you know, like you just get sleepy and like fainty and then you die in your sleep. Luckily it didn't happen during the night, because it could happen if we keep the boiler go up until like late-ish at night. It can get on fire like even 2 hours later. Luckily it was during the day, and luckily there was it was not a fireman. It was you know, like the people that work for the environment of each town. I don't know what they are called where you live. Anyway, luckily there was one of those guys, and my mom said that guy saw the fucking flames from my chimney from where I was working, and he came here to help. And I didn't know that there was actual flames in the chimney, like flames going up for meters and meters from my chimney. I didn't know that, but it probably looked like a fire what? What it called? A bonfire. It probably did look like a bonfire. Ooh, Bellfire from Once Upon a Time. Okay, probably looked like a bonfire. My mom didn't tell me. She said that it was loads of smoke, and my bedroom didn't really smell a lot, but then I went in the other rooms and I could smell it. So I thought they had the situation under control. I thought that he had gotten on fire, and then they had managed to sometimes, actually quite often, like maybe once every season, the chimney does go on fire, but then it's also very easy for it to like for the smoke for the fire to die. It sort of dies on its own sometimes. We usually do not necessarily need people to help. We have never called the fire people, I think. I mean, so far as I've lived here, which is 19, almost 20 years. So I was there near the oven watching DOR, which is a series my mom recommended to me, but that's beyond my point. And I start singing my mom rushing in and out, in and out, in and out. And keep in mind, we are in quarantine. It means we should not have contact with the external world. at all. So we got in contact with so many strangers. It was like at least 2 people, and it's not allowed, and it shouldn't happen because yes, it's an emergency that had to happen. So I kept a little mask in front of my face just like this, not really being too careful, because there was a bigger emergency. While I was watching my TV show, I asked my mom if she needed help, because like everybody was freaking out. Like you could actually feel the panic in the air. My sister and my little sister, my little brother were going in and out and like basically almost screaming. So I took out my earphones. I was like, "Do you need help?" And she said she said yes, and I was like, "Okay, what do I have to do?" And she said like, fill up these containers with as much water as you can, because the chimney is on fire and they cannot make the fire die. Like, how is it said? They cannot put it down. Is it said put down, put off, put down, put down? They cannot stop the fire. So for what I understood, it was spreading, and we are in quarantine. In another occasion, we would have all gotten outside, because, of course, it's an emergency. Like if they didn't stop it, my house could have all gotten on fire. And it's not the best in the case of a situation where you are forced to stay inside your house for safety reasons, for health reasons, for major health reasons, for like, it's a thing of life or death. When it's an outbreak of like a plague or something, it's life or death. Really, for many people. So there was this huge fire. I started filling up as much water as I could. We did a mess because my mum spilled water everywhere here in the bathroom. She thought that a pipe had burst. Luckily it didn't. I must have like filled up something like 10 big containers of water, like just half of them, and then I would pass them quickly. So my mum and I had a very nice rhythm, because as she needed more water, I would have it ready, and like we had a nice chain going on, like the kind of chain that you need when you're working with emergencies. Like if you are like an ER doctor, or if you're like a fireman, something like that, you need that. Like you need to be cold, you need to stay focused, you need not to lose your shit, and you need to just do what you need to do to help and to keep everybody alive and to stay as safe as possible and to protect people. I still can't believe that, like, how the heck can I have such a bad anxiety disorder? I mean, I have more than one anxiety disorder, but how can I have such severe anxiety disorders? And then when it's an emergency, I am so cold-blooded. I literally, I don't panic. Like, I panic for a second, but then the adrenaline kicks in and I want to do something. I am more like fight than flight. Like, if a family member has a very bad cut, or if they fall off a bike and they're actually in bad shape, or if for some reason I feel like if somebody is in a semi-life-threatening situation. I've never luckily had to deal with actual life-threatening situations, but in situations like that, I go into action. I'm like, I need to do that. I need to help. I'm like, my head just goes like, okay, what is happening? What you need to do? Even if I'm in public and like somebody like faints, I'm like, it has only happened a few times, but like my head goes like, okay, feel the pulse, ask if there is a doctor. If there is no doctor, you start with your chest compressions. If there is no pulse, you keep the person alive. Just compressions, check if they have something in their mouth, put them in the safe position so that they can have like the airways free and everything. And I'm constantly also while I'm full asleep, I'm constantly also thinking of the most impossible not impossible, the most like crazy, improbable scenarios. Like, okay, what if I am at the hospital in the medical world? What if I get put in the psych ward and there is a person that cuts themselves almost to death? Or like, what if a friend of mine does that, and they call in an emergency? What do I need to do? How can you keep somebody from bleeding to death at home? Like, what kind of stitches can you do from home? What will you need to do? How much pressure do you have to put in which way? I'm constantly thinking about things like that when I fall asleep, but also whenever, actually, all throughout the day. They are not really intrusive thoughts, because once I think about a plan to go into action, once I have the knowledge, or like a basic knowledge thing on how to intervene, I go on with my day. It's not really an intrusive OCD thought, but in the past it definitely was. I just do a lot of research. Like, to be honest, I know so much about like dangerous things and potential catastrophes, viruses, bone issues. Like, if you get something, an injury in your body, and my mum is like, just today she was like, wait, how you know so much, because I was talking about hips and what happens when you like turn a lot of the time. So like people that walk into circles a lot. I don't know why, but I did some research on that. Like, actually I know why, but I just one of my countless research things. I guess, I'm sorry I'm talking so quickly. I think it's the adrenaline still kicking in. Or like, so I just stayed as cold as possible and as calm as possible. I did everything I could. I kept the cats in the other part of the house and my siblings too. And whenever, like, when we were all done, I still filled up another thing of water, because they said the fire was put down, but I don't really trust it very often, because usually bad things happen in the moment when you run out of resources. Like, you think that you don't need to be careful anymore, and then maybe the fire like comes back alive stronger than ever. So I was like, no, I'm gonna fill that up if they need it. They didn't need it, for what I know. My room is the only room that doesn't really smell of carbon dioxide. Not that I would know. So I had to turn on my fan for that. And the light, because the light there, periodically, like, bursts. It explodes. Every, like, 3 months or so, like, about once every new season, I have to change it, because at night, or even during, I mean, it's at night usually that I turn it on. I turn it on, and you just hear poof, and you kind of see, like, the little glitch thing. Like, you can see that it's all burnt, and it has exploded, sort of. Yeah, so I have to use the light that makes this look like a noir, kind of. I had a nice blue mask before, but now this. So, I am not superstitious, and I really, really liked Friday the 13th. And today, I was just like, yeah, Mom, it's clear that it's Friday the 13th. Like, 3 or 4 major events all at once, all on the same day. And like, just for the record, the little town where I live, all throughout November and all throughout December, the water was contaminated, and we couldn't use tap water for drinking or for cooking or anything like that, because it was actually like poisonous. So if now the water had been poisonous with the coronavirus outbreak, we would all be fucked. Like, we would all be sick with it. And the thing that you need to understand is that here, since it's a pretty tiny town, and since there is not much work, like honestly you can't find any work at all here, young people they flee, they go away from here. So here mostly like retired people live, and children, like kindergarten children, very very young children. Then there are teens, yeah, just high school, middle school age. But I mean, for what I know, in this little town there are a couple of people so we like young people with weak immune systems because they have eating disorders or other things that they do to themselves, like so yeah, like half of the town would be dead because yeah, it's not really as deadly as it kind of seemed for it to be. But in my area, we no longer have space in the hospitals. Like, if this entire little town got contaminated, there would not be enough space in the hospitals for everybody. Like, they would have to choose only maybe 1/4 or 1/3 of the people that get ill. So that's kind of scary. But I shouldn't worry too much because my immune system is actually kind of strong lately. I don't even have like a normal cold. I guess it's because I binge so much and I don't purge because I don't have the courage to do that. Apart once. I did once. Although I probably only like purged out like 50 calories. And when I did do that, I almost died of salt poisoning. I'm not joking because I ate 4 very, very big tablespoons, like very heaped tablespoons of salt, and almost died of salt poisoning. And I literally almost had a stroke or a heart attack, and my potassium was so low. And I literally almost fainted like 20 times just being sat down. So that wasn't fun. 2020 so far has been shit. Like, well, most catastrophes, most epidemics and stuff do happen in the 20s of each 100 years. So that's it, I guess. This is a very messy video. It's really all over the place, but I needed to get everything out right now because I couldn't wait to tell. And yeah, like, it wouldn't have been the same, and I probably made very little sense, and my sentences were all like messy and all wrong grammatically and stuff. I hope you can hear me well enough. And I wanted to upload 2 videos before uploading this one, of course. I wanted to upload the video where I cut my hair short, which was like a week ago. I haven't edited that one yet, but I may stay away the entire night editing that. So then I can upload that after this one. And then I had to upload another one, I think. Maybe. Yeah, I think I had to upload another one, but I don't really remember what it was. And maybe also another one. Anyway, I'm gonna upload this one right now, and then I'm gonna upload a couple of videos filmed quite a bit before that. So that's just a little update about this messy situation. Like, not one catastrophe at once, no, not 2. Like, in the world, I mean, there are floodings, then there are fires, like entire Florida all getting fire and shit. Then there is war in many countries, then the virus outbreak, and then this shit, and then my mental health. I'm like, 2020, like, calm down. I hope that this is it. I just hope that 2020 is done with it. I hope that all the bad things that had to happen in 2020 have happened already. Because if this is just a taste of what is ahead of us, I am yeeting myself out of existence. I love you, people. Sorry for being all over the place. I just love you, and I don't know what is wrong with me. I am very fucked up, okay? My mental health is so fucked up. My life is all fucked up. It's all a mess, and it's all crumbling to pieces. Even when I think it's done being crumbled to pieces and there is nothing left to ruin, life still finds a way to make it even more unbearable for me to live. So that's great. Bye.